G'day whisky lovers, welcome to the Hard Malt channel. My name's Tim, and today, being very close to the end of 2025, I'm going to present my top 5 whiskies of 2025. I'm going to start with a few honourable mentions that didn't quite make the top 5, and then if you'll indulge me, I'm going to go over a few stats and figures of my own collection. I think it tells a little bit of a story and of where my collection's going. And then I will present my top 5 whiskies of this year. So let's get into the honourable mentions first. And bear with me, I'm just testing out this new microphone. Hopefully it's pretty decent. So we'll see how we go. Honourable mentions. To start with, easily my favourite Australian whiskey that I have in my cabinet right now. This is from Kinglake Distillery, one of my most local distilleries. And this one is one of their special releases called the Bog Monster. It's bottled at cask strength at 61%. And this one has been matured in a few different casks. It's been matured in ex-bourbon, some French oak Pera casks, which is Australian sherry style liquor, and also ex-Laphroaig casks. So Kinglake already used 25% malted barley in their mash bill anyway. So there's always a bit of a hint of peat in their whiskies, but this one partially matured in ex-Laphroaig barrels as well, so adds that extra little smoky, peaty dimension. So there's that one. Another honourable mention, Kilkerran, 16-year-old. This is the 2025 release. It's in the slightly taller bottle because, as some of you are aware, they've had some bottle supply issues down at Campbelltown. So this sets it apart from the 2024 release being in the standard Springbank style bottle. And this one is, I'm told, up to 40% sherry maturation has been used in this one. So it gives it quite a different take on the previous releases of the 16-year-old, and yeah, I've only just recently got this, so haven't had a real chance to attack it yet, but it's pretty delicious stuff, and it's a slightly different take on their traditional 16-year-old product. And lastly, another honourable mention, Signatory Vintage 100 proof. This is an Ardmore 2012 12-year-old whiskey, and this one is matured in second fill bourbon barrels after the first fill was used at Laphroaig. So again, ex-Laphroaig barrels being used here. Bit of a theme, isn't there? It's no wonder I've got so many Laphroaigs up in the cabinet there. But yeah, this is an excellent example of an Ardmore. You just can't get good quality Ardmore outside of independent bottlers. The official stuff is it's all watered down. It's stripped of its character. It's filtered to within an inch of its life. Filtered to death, you could say. But this is, as everything I'm presenting here is unchill filtered and natural colour, and that's what we like. So you're getting the best natural version, or one of the best natural versions of an Ardmore here. And if you're into your Ardmores, you need to go for the independent bottlers. That's where you'll find the best stuff. So those are my runners-up, or my honourable mentions, if you like. Now what I might do is as I mentioned, I'll just push these out of the way. I will throw up some charts on the screen shortly, and I just want to go over a few stats and figures of my collection as of right now. So right now I have a total of 81 bottles, so it's a modest collection. By status, whether they're opened or still sealed, I have 63 that are open, so 63 bottles are at various stages of disrepair. 18 are still sealed. So what that's telling me is that I'm chasing the flavours, the different flavours, and I'm not shy about opening bottles as I get them. Of those 18 that are still sealed, the vast majority of those are just backup bottles of things that I've already got open or have had before. So I'm just saving a backup for when the time comes that I want to try that particular whiskey again. Yeah, 63 bottles open at various different levels. So that tells quite a story in itself. Now, by region, I've got a reasonable split across all the different regions of Scotland, and of course they're all the top runners here. The top one being almost 30% of my bottles are from the Scottish Highlands. Now that includes the islands as well, other than Islay. So that's including, for example, 3 bottles from Tobermory Distillery, 2 being the Lagavulin Peated variant, and I've got a couple of independent bottlings of Highland Park as well. So that's bulking up the Highland representation there. Second, of course, is Islay. Obviously, I love my peated whiskey very much. Speyside, pretty well represented there, as is Campbelltown, which is, I'm surprised that I've managed to get so much Campbelltown there, and that's without having any from, well, I was nearly going to say without having anything from Springbank, but actually I do have 2 from Longrow, or of the Longrow brand, which is from Springbank. So there you have it. There's a fairly good representation of Campbelltown there. Next on the list we have in joint 5th place Northern Ireland and Australia. So I've got quite a few, or half a dozen bottles of Australian whiskey in the cabinet, and I've got half a dozen from Northern Ireland. Then the rest of the list is roughly about 1%, which is New Zealand, Japan, Ireland, the Republic, England, and the United States of America. Now, one thing that does stand out to me when I look at my bottles by region is Northern Ireland, I've got 6.2% representation. Ireland, the Republic, is down at 1%. What that's telling me is that the difference between Northern Ireland and Ireland is traditionally Northern Ireland whiskies are single malts, whereas Irish whiskies from the Republic are traditionally single pot still, which is a mixture of malted and unmalted barley. So looking at my collection by region here is telling me that even when it comes to Irish whiskies, I still prefer single malt over that mix of malted and unmalted. So that's quite interesting. That's not to say that all the Irish whiskies are no good. There's quite a number that I enjoy, such as Redbreast, some of the spot whiskies, Teeling, for example, as well. But yeah, obviously it's clearly showing here that the single malt variant is to my preference. Now let's go have a look by distillery. So by distillery, any that I've only got 1 bottle from is falling into the category of other. So in total, I've got 41 different distilleries represented. The number 1 spot goes to Bunnahabhain. No surprise there. I love Bunnahabhain. Glendronach is still hanging on to second spot. Well, most of that is some backup bottles of their batch releases, cask strength releases. And I can see Glendronach probably falling down the list because I'm not that impressed with the premiumization that they seem to be going in this direction of more non-age statement stuff and using celebrities to advertise their product. Lefroy, third on the list, no surprise there, love Lefroy. Then we've got joint fourth spot, got Glen Scotia and Kilkerran that I've got almost half a dozen each, followed by Bushmills, Ben Nevis, which are all independent bottlings, Tobermory, which includes Lechag, and then you've got into the twins, you've got Kalila, Deanston, Glentorquers, Highland Park, Linkwood, Longrow and Speyburn. And now as for official bottlings versus independent bottlings. Now this is where it starts to tell a little bit of a story, and this will actually flow into my top 5. So out of my 81 bottles, 66 are official bottlings and 15, nearly 20% are independent bottlings. Now that figure has been growing over the last few years, and I think that's natural for anybody in their whiskey journey, that you're going to find that as time goes on, you'll gravitate more and more towards the independent bottlings, because quite often you can get a better version of a distillery's product from an independent bottler than you can some of the official distilleries. So there we have it. That's some of the stats and figures of my collection, my personal collection. But now, what you've all been waiting for, my top 5 of 2025. Starting with number 5, we have a Ben Nevis. What do I say about independent bottlings? So this one is bottled by Decadent Drinks under the Decadent Drams brand. And this is a Ben Nevis bottled exclusively for the Whiskey List Australia. And this one was finished in some ex-Deanston barrels. And it's absolutely delicious stuff. I describe this one as somebody has dropped a tray of apple Danish on the floor of a diesel mechanics workshop. That's what you've got right there. Delicious stuff. I can't get enough of that stuff. As you can see, I'm already halfway through that one, but I'm trying to savor it. Number 4. Number 4 is, surprise, surprise, another independent bottling. This one is bottled by Duncan Taylor. It's part of their Octave range, finished in Octave casks. And this one is 2007 vintage. It is a 17-year-old whiskey. Finished in an Oloroso Octave. And because some distilleries don't let the independent bottlers name the distillery, this one is just described as an Islay. However, it has been disclosed to us, and we know it to be Lagavulin. Now this, I've just thoroughly enjoyed this one. This is, if for people out there that think that Lagavulin 16 is a really elegant peated Islay, this is 10 times more elegant, and yet it's just as potent. This is just a delicious whiskey. This is a prime example of a really well done Islay whiskey. It's a prime example of Lagavulin spirit, and it's so decadent and elegant. Absolutely love this stuff, and that's the way to taste Lagavulin. On to number 3. Number 3, again, is another independent bottling. This one is bottled by Atom, which is independent bottler for Master of Malt. And this is one of their Seaweed and Aeons and Digging and Fire and cask strength releases. This is a cask strength 18-year-old Peated Highland, which many people believe to be from the Octave distillery, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong there. This one was one of my birthday presents to myself earlier this year. And this one I describe as throwing damp autumn leaves onto a smouldering campfire. Just delicious stuff. Perfect winter whiskey, this one. Sit in front of the fireplace and have a nice sip. Delicious stuff. Not sure if you can see there, but yeah, I'm about easily 2/3 the way through this bottle now, and really trying to savour the rest. Second place. Any guesses? For those of you who thought another independent bottling, give yourself a pat on the back, pour yourself a dram. Yes, it is. So this one is another exclusive bottling for the Whisky List Australia, bottled by Maltbarn bottlers, and this is an 18-year-old secret Orkney, but again we know it to be a Highland Park. Now this is a really delicious example of Highland Park. You've got some sweetness, you've got some savoury, there's a bit of sourness there, salty. It's got all of the senses in this all of the tastes, sorry, in this particular dram. Just an excellent example of Highland Park whiskey. Unadulterated, unfiltered, basically untouched. And as you can see, I've been well enjoying this one as well. This was one of the later purchases in the year, so it's been well loved. Delicious stuff. Now, number one, the one you've all been waiting for, and it's another. This one was another of my presents to myself, birthday presents to myself earlier this year. And this is Deanston Organic 20-year-old single malt. And this is 20 years old, as we mentioned, and it is bottled at a natural cask strength of 49.7%. So absolutely approachable. It's delicious, delicious whiskey. It's floral, it's big on the citrus, waxy. There's a little bit of funkiness in there. It's got that sort of very slight farmyard, sort of almost local barley kind of character in there. But yet it's also quite a clean, bright, zesty, forward spirit. It's one that you could probably give to some beginner whiskey drinkers just to show them how good whiskey can be, and it wouldn't knock their socks off, or it wouldn't make them run away from whiskey. Any of the others, especially these two and this one, you wouldn't give to a new whiskey drinker because these are bit more challenging. Lagavulin bottling, probably not quite so challenging, but these three definitely are, but absolutely delicious. So there you have it, guys. These are my top 5 whiskies for 2025. Let me know what your top 5 are in the comments. Let me know what you think of my top 5. Do you agree with some of them? There's some that you would swap out. Would you change the order? Just to recap, this is number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1 of the year. There we have it. So until next year, folks, look after yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video. Slàinte mhath.